Assalamualaikum class 7. How are you? Faiza Nadeem, your English teacher here, and she is hoping, wishing and praying for your health and safety. And along with that, I am asking you, filled of curiosity, whether you are concerned about your academics or not. You should all be. अच्छा? और अपनी नमाज का और अम्मी अब्बू के साथ वेल बिहेवियर का भी ध्यान रखना है साथ साथ, ठीक है? तो चलो शुरू करते हैं आज का लेसन. आ जाओ मेरे साथ. जी बेटा, व्हाट इज द बोर्ड टेलिंग यू? एंड टू मेरी बिटिया एज वेल. क्या कह रहे बोर्ड? बोर्ड ये कह रहे हैं कि आप ऑक्सफोर्ड प्रोग्रेसिव रीडर निकाल लें, बुक 7, उसका यूनिट 10 खोल लें. यूनिट 10 के पेजेस 263 266 जो कि हैं फॉलो इन करते विद द टाइटल अचीवमेंट. और अचीवमेंट क्या होता है? अचीवमेंट होता है कामयाबी, ठीक है? सो इस अचीवमेंट द लाइफ टाइम कामयाबी के एक जनरल टाइटल के नीचे जो कॉम्प्रीहेंशन हम आज कर रहे हैं उसका नाम है बेटर लेट देन नेवर. ये एक रिपोर्ट है और ये रिपोर्ट है उन यमनी वर्कर्स के बारे में जो 1950s में इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन के साथ यमन से आए यूरोप, और यूरोप आके उन्होंने अपनी पूरी लाइफ दे दी. और जब वो रिटायर हुए, यानी कि जब वो 70 प्लस हो गए, तो उनको ख्याल आया कि नाउ दैट वी आर लिविंग इन इंग्लैंड वी शुड नो इंग्लिश एज वेल. तो उनका एक टीचर होता है जिसका नाम होता है क्रिस सर्ल. क्रिस सर्ल अपनी एक क्लास में उन 10-12 यमनी स्टूडेंट्स को लेके बैठता है, जो स्टूडेंट्स एवरेज एज है उनकी 75 years, एंड एट दिस एवरेज एज दे वांट टू लर्न इंग्लिश, क्योंकि इंग्लैंड को उन्होंने अपना घर बना लिया होता है. वो इतने अरसे से यहाँ रह रहे होते हैं, वो अपने इंश्योरेंस फॉर्म्स पे, वो अपनी जो उनकी पॉलिसीज है उस पे, अपनी बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स पे पढ़ना चाहते हैं कि क्या लिखा हुआ है. एक कोई उनको ट्रांसलेट करके बता दे वो उनके लिए काफी नहीं होता. अलॉन्ग विद दैट बहुत सारे एक्सीडेंट्स इसलिए हुए होते हैं क्योंकि उनको इंग्लिश ही समझ नहीं आती. जब उनको सेफ्टी इंस्ट्रक्शंस ही समझ नहीं आएंगे तो वो कैसे करेंगे? तो ये पूरा कॉम्प्रीहेंशन उनकी इस स्टोरी पे बेस्ड है कि किस तरह से वो बैठे हैं और इस उम्र में इंग्लिश को ग्रामेटिकली लर्न करके दूसरों के लिए क्या एग्जाम्पल सेट कर रहे हैं. सबसे पहले आते हैं हम इनके वोकैबुलरी पे. वोकैबुलरी में आपको 2 कॉलम्स दिए हुए और आपसे कहा गया कि लेफ्ट कॉलम में जो वर्ड्स हैं उनकी राइट कॉलम में मीनिंग्स हैं, आपने मैच करनी. मैंने आपके लिए कर दिया है. मैं आपको मीनिंग्स भी रीड करती हूँ और सेंटेंसेस भी कंस्ट्रक्ट करती हूँ. एमिएबली, गुड नेचर्डली. द वर्कर्स वर्कड इन द स्टील फैक्ट्री इन द स्टील वर्क्स एमिएबली. यूनिक, वन एंड ओनली. क्रिस सॉल वॉज होल्डिंग अ स्कूल that was unique in all areas. Rural country. A lot of rural population is migrating to the urban areas, to the cities for better employment, for better chances of earning money. Mastering, acquiring facility in using. You need to have a mastering over the commands of word star in order to be successful. Tangible, possible to touch. Show the child a tangible reward in order to encourage him towards doing his work. Dapper, very smart. The dapper worker knew how to operate the machine even before he read the manual. Hazardous, dangerous. The conditions were hazardous. The workers had no clue how to operate the machine, neither were they literate enough to look for or to read the instructions. Let's move ahead. Shifts, working periods. The factory was working in 2 shifts, making sure that the teacher gave the instructions twice, ensuring that every student have heard them properly. Differentiated at different levels of ability. A good teacher is the one who can reach the differentiated ability of her students in the class. Literate, able to read and write. We must all be literate, not with the degrees, but with the approach that we have set in our minds. Invigorate, enliven. His performance invigorated the party, and thus it became a lively, full of energy occasion. Shame and disgrace. It was a shame that you have brought to the community, or it was a shame that you were caught cheating in the exam. Tenacity, determination. With strong tenacity, he started his career in the field of education because he wanted to be a mentor for the people who would follow him. Keenness and vigorous enthusiasm. The new activity introduced by the teacher was anticipated with keenness from her students. That was so much so for the vocabulary. Let's move on to reading for understanding. रीडिंग फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग में आपको जो पहला टास्क है, जो क्वेश्चन है, उनमें से आपको टिक और क्रॉस लगाना है करेक्ट और इनकरेक्ट पे. अब हम पढ़ते हैं स्टेटमेंट्स और साथ साथ अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं इस कॉम्प्रिहेंशन को और बेहतर तरीके से. The Yemini students worked for 30 years in the steel industry in Sheffield. This is true. Those Yemini students who were 12 to 15 in number had been in England for over 30 years, but they did not know English at all. Right? The desire to read English has inspired them to come classes 4 days a week. This was not the desire to read English. It was their desire to know the language, to be able to write it grammatically correct. So this is a wrong statement. A spearman was a useful employee because he could do any job in the steel work. Definitely spearmen are working at different places with different jobs. But over here in the steel works, that was seriously not a job of a spearman to replace anybody and everybody. The bosses in the steel works in the 1950s, listen. Let's complete the sentence. Emphatically to Muhammad Alve Umerat. Muhammad Alve Umerat was actually 82 years old, and when he had come to Europe, he had asked his employees to assist him in learning English, which they refused. So they were not actually listening to him emphatically. In fact, one of the owners told him to mind his own business, and he was there to work only, not to learn English. The Yemini workers' lack of English language skills had been the cause of disasters in the steelworks in the past, and that was true. The Yemini workers had no clue. Their language was Arabic. They had no clue how to read English, how to read the safety measures, safety precautions. So thus there was a chance, or there were multiple chances of them falling into disasters. The Yemini students speak in commands because Chris Searle taught them commands. False, because they had only heard commands at the steelworks. Their bosses would only communicate with them in commands. So that is why they would communicate in commands only. Chris Searle thinks that the Yemini workers have suffered an injustice because they had to work so hard in the steel industry. And he was right. They were working for more than 12 hours. There were no shifts. And for an extensive 12 hours without a break, they had been working or breaking their backs. So this is a true statement. Next is Muhammad Alve Umerat. Answer to why he is learning English probably represents the feelings of other men in the class. And this is true. He said that he wanted to know the language. He wanted to read the insurance papers. He wanted to read the bank documents. He wanted to know everything firsthand rather being translated by others. So why he was learning English definitely represented the feelings of everybody who was around him. Learning English for Yemini students is difficult, but they are used to difficulties, and that's true. At this age, with an average age of 75, those students were working really hard to learn English, but then they had been working harder than that in the steelworks. Okay? So it was not difficult for them to put in a lot of effort, to put in a lot of work. Chris Searle thinks that his students are an example to all teachers all over the Britain. That's wrong. They are an example to all students all over Britain, not the teachers. Let's quickly recapitulate today's lesson. What did we do? We did Unit 10, Achievements of Oxford Progressive Reader. Okay? They were late, they were old, but it was that they wanted to learn, the zest inside them which did not let them rest, and they went on to learn English firsthand, right? And we did the reading for understanding. In the next lecture, we will be doing the comprehension, reading for inference, and the writing task. Till then, Faiza Nadeem is signing off. Keep me in your prayers, keep Pakistan in your prayers, and be happy. Sayonara.